Howdy, I'm fucking Equi or Equinox Doodles or Michael, and welcome to the Underground. I'm here with our two other monsters, Matt and Sergio or Roxas the Hunter. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Doing pretty good.
Oh, that's good. You know, in this world, it's slash or be slashed. Ha ha ha. Ha ha.
I get it.
Yeah. So, what's on the up and up tonight? What are we doing?
Well, in case you couldn't tell from the stupid fucking intro we put together, today's an Undertale day, boys.
Yes,
Yay.
long awaited. Thanks to our friend Caleb for pointing out that the degenerates of Homestuck migrated over to the Undertale fandom. You know what that means? We gotta cover it.
But gentlemen, I have to ask you, if Undertale was so good, why is there no Undertale 2?
That's a good question. We have Deltarune, but that's been confirmed to not be a sequel by Mr. Tobith Fox himself.
Sergio, do you have an answer for us?
Well, I think the only option would to make Undertale 2.
Say it isn't so. Tell me it's not true. Is there an Undertale 2 for us?
Oh, yes, indeed. A user by the name of Angel X Yasutora has brought to us Undertale 2: A New Beginning. A little thing about the author, as I've now migrated over to their profile. They love anime, manga, and gaming type stories. They're 27. They have hazel eyes, brown hair. They're female. They got B blood type. I can
Why
give them blood, but they
calling
can't
her
give me blood. They what?
Was there
her?
Okay.
She does not have her. She doesn't have her pronouns down. But you know what? I'm being respectful.
All right.
And I won't read off their real name, even though it's on their profile, because I won't go that far. But I will read the description, and when I read you the description, you'll understand what drew me to this story. Post Undertale, pacifist, run, don't flame, because of shippings, please. Sans X Frisk for now, rated KT. 6 years have passed since the barrier was broken. Frisk is now 16, and the ambassador of the monsters. Sans is physically 26. And had a huge growth spurt and is the new royal scientist for King Asgore. I'll write up more to the summary later. Hope everyone enjoys.
Oh, no.
Yeah, this is right up our alley. This was made for us.
All right.
Yeah.
Do I get to narrate? Who narrates?
You may narrate.
Yeah, be my guest.
It had been 6 years since Frisk left the underground to become the ambassador of monsters. Since then, Undyne and Alphys got married and moved to the surface. Toria went back to the castle with Asgore and had one last baby. Asriel became the assistant ambassador of monsters. Kara is now out of Frisk's mind thanks to Sans. Metaton continues to be a big hit celebrity amongst the monsters. The Temmies, they're the same. Papyrus went on to become a member of the Royal Guard, soon to become the new captain. And last but not least, Sans has grown a lot taller since he last saw Frisk. He became the new royal scientist at the King's Castle. His powers over the Gaster Blasters have gotten a lot stronger since his last fight with Kara in the last timeline. Only Sans knows of other timelines, yet he is glad that she did not reset this timeline. With each timeline that was reset, he has fallen more and more in love with Frisk, and he kept falling harder for her with each timeline. It's starting to feel like Mr. Michael Thomas Freeney wrote it. One evening, Sans was walking along the path, looking up at the large hole in the sky that leads to the surface in sadness. Who wants to be Sans?
I will be... No, I'm not going to be Sans. I'm sorry.
You don't want to be the 26-year-old...
No, I don't want to be the 20...
skeleton.
I don't want to be the 26-year-old.
Okay.
Okay. I'll be Sans. What kind of voice should I do for Sans? Because I don't know anything about Undertale.
Well, the sound effect when he talks is So try that.
I miss you, kiddo. Why do I get this feeling that something's gonna happen here? He thought to himself.
He looks down and gently grabs an upside down blue heart-shaped locket he had around his neck and opens it, revealing a picture of what appeared to be a 3-year-old child in Sans' arms, smiling happily with one of her hands and one of his eye sockets on one side, then a 10-year-old Frisk on the other.
It's been 6 years, kiddo. That's way too long to be away from us. Away from me.
He thought as a few tears formed in his eye sockets.
Y'all were cute back then, but I bet you're gorgeous now that you're 16.
Okay, we have to stop for a moment. We have to stop for a moment, ladies and gentlemen.
Groomer Sans!
Chris Hansen is in the house. He's asking Sans to take a seat.
Please take a seat right over there, Mr. Sansalton.
Based on the timeline that the author has put out for us, Sans was 20 years old. Frisk was 10. You know what? Let's not think about it. Let's do the time-honored tradition of push it in the corner. Just ignore it. Push it in the corner.
Pretend it's not there.
Sans bets that Frisk is gorgeous. He thinks to himself as he looked at the pictures. He quickly closes the locket when he hears a familiar Gaster roaring, and he opened his eye sockets as one of his eye... How do you open an eye socket? What does that mean?
Maybe
I know
he
can
has
do
eyelids?
it in game.
It's just something that happens in the game. Don't worry about it. It's just fucking...
His eye socket, one of his eyes turned blue, telling the familiar Gaster to catch whoever was falling into the underground. His eyes turned to normal as he looked to see who fell into the underground this time. His eyes widened as he saw who it was.
Frisk.
Tears start to form in his eyes as he teleported to her.
Frisk. It's really you.
He thought to himself. Frisk began to wake up.
Huh. The underground.
She said as she sighed.
I guess I fell again.
You sure keep falling in for this place, don't you, kid?
Sans said. She quickly turned to him with wide eyes.
Sans? Sans, is that really you?
She asked.
Yeah, it's me, kid.
Sans replied as he smiled, trying to hold back his tears of happiness.
What are you doing here?
Okay, if it just keeps going back and forth dialogue, I'll just let you guys keep reading. You don't
Okay.
have to have me say she asked.
Well, I heard you were taking a trip, so I thought I'd come and catch you. He lied. I knew something was going to happen here, and Frisk returned to us. To me. He thought to himself as he helped her off the Gaster.
Thank you both for catching me.
She said as she petted the Gaster's snout, seeing an all too familiar crack on it. Then she turns to Sans.
Is it just me, or have you grown some since the last time I saw you?
Well, I had some growing up to do, but I see you've grown a lot as well since the last time we saw you.
No.
Kid.
Don't think about it. Don't think about it.
He said as he smiled. Wow, she really is gorgeous, he thought to himself as he blushed slightly. He sees her looking at the crack on the Gaster in sadness.
So, how long has it been? 6 years since we've seen each other?
She asked.
By the way, how old is Sans canonically? Because he said
There is no age.
There
for
is
a
no
skeleton.
canonical age for anybody, I want to say.
Yeah, we know Frisk is a minor though, because they are always referred to as kid and they are a child.
Yeah.
And they also never had direct pronouns given to them. They were always just referred to as Frisk.
Yeah,
Or
because
kid.
they said that Sans now has the body of a man, but they don't. But this person didn't give their age.
Yeah,
But
it's
Frisk
very
is supposed to be
unclear how
16.
old any of the monsters are. Just
Anyway,
yeah. Just
don't. He thought to himself as he blushed. Oh wait, no. Not sure, kiddo, but I'm sure it's been far too long. He said.
I've missed you all.
She said as she smiled slightly.
Yeah, kid, we missed you too. He replied. But I missed you the most, he thought to himself. He notices that she was still wearing the gold heart-shaped locket that he had bought her the day she went up to the surface to talk to the council.
Do you think anyone else besides you remembers me?
Are you kidding, kid? With a face like yours, it's hard to forget, he said. But I would never forget a face as beautiful as yours, kid, he thought.
Oh.
I am... This is... I want to say... This is at least the same quality as, like, a third grader trying to write romance. It is like... It is literally just the same kind of thing I would imagine a third grader doing. They're like, all right, they gotta act cool, and then they're gonna be like, you're beautiful, and you're beautiful,
and your face is beautiful.
Oh God, Michael, you should have been there last night when we were reading Chain of Memories.
Was it? Would you say it's higher quality than this or lower?
Equivalent.
I think it was lower. Oh God, hold on. I just want to take a 5 minute, just like a short break to explain to Michael what happened. So Mike Freeney had a stroke.
Oh no.
He was like he said, like Sora told Angel to clam down. He was going like super hard on the misspellings. There was some fights. Lex is dead. They cut Lex in half. And
spoilers if you haven't watched the Chain of Memories. I think that's gonna be part 7.
Jeez.
Yeah. So basically, Sora and Riku. Oh God. Okay. So Lex. So Rai is trying to take over Riku's body because Rai is the darkness inside Riku. Rai kicks Riku out of the window, and Sora's like, "No, my friend is dead." And Angel's like, "Listen, Sora, we gotta keep going. It's what he would have wanted." And they're like, "Yeah." So they climb up. Oh yeah, I'd also like to point out before this that they walked into a weapons room where there was another couch. There's couches everywhere. So Riku's dead. They go up to a top floor. They go into like a bedroom, and it's like, oh, there's only one bed. Are you sure you can we can sleep in the same bed together? Sora's like, yeah, it's fine. And then Angel's like, all right, I'm gonna go freshen up and take a shower. So Sora takes a load off of the bed and strips completely naked because that's what you do when you're about to go to sleep with your friend. Then Angel comes out of the bathroom and removes her bathrobe, and then she gets up of Sora, and Sora's like, well, "What's going on here?" And then they go under the sheets, and then it's like 3 hours later, they pull the sheets off. They're all sweaty, and then Angel is just like they're calling each other sweetheart and whatnot,
baby, dear. It's
and then Sora gets
infuriating.
Sora gets into a fight with Lex, and like he's like. And despite Angel going to hero school with them, he's like, "Angel, go hide behind the table." And she's like, "Okay, babe."
Oh no!
She gives him a kiss and runs over. Then a mysterious figure shows up, who we think is Riku, because even though Riku's supposed to be dead, the organization still talks about like possessing Riku. The mysterious figure proceeds to kill Lex, while Sora is like just like over with like Angel hugging her. It's like, "Oh man, that Lex sure kicked my ass."
Dude. Why'd you fucking slip me bone-hurting juice?
Because you're gonna have to deal with it anyways, Michael.
No. This was a mistake.
But yeah, that was your short Chain of Memories recap. Back to
Thank
that.
You.
Back to what we were reading.
Thank you for the rechain of memories.
Oh yeah. Also, Mike Freeney can't write the word lightning and writes lighting. Also, apparently, lightning is a character, and that Riku lost her a long time ago.
I think
don't worry about it.
The funniest thing about the misspelling of lightning is her name is in one of the chapter titles, and it is still spelled lighting.
Okay.
Oh yeah, didn't Matt also discovered a plot hole, didn't you?
Oh yes. You remember Rain, Sora's father's friend who is dead trademark?
Yeah, they're not dead, are they?
No.
I figured
When
as
Rain
much.
shows up, that's not it, Michael. When Rain shows up, he looks Sora dead in the fucking eyes, and he tells him, "Yeah, I rescued Angel. She's safe back at a village."
Okay.
But in the last thing we read together, Angel was captured by the organization, and they had to murder Kai to get her back.
Oh.
Yeah. But the implication is that she's been there ever since she disappeared.
I'm slowly like realizing that at this point we are literally just reading children's fan fiction. Like it's just all fucking like third grade reading level bullshit where it's just like, I love you, and it's like, I love you too. Literally just met you like the last chapter, but I love you and I'm deeply in love with you. We're not gonna have any dates, and we're gonna be happy until the end of the book, because that will be the end of the book. Let's just continue with this bullshit.
Yeah, we should.
Oh, nothing. So what brings you back to the underground? He asked.
What can I just... What? I can't... What? Can't I just drop in and say hello to my family?
She teased. Heh, you're getting good with your punny puns. Just be careful and don't let Papyrus hear, he said.
Did you say Papyrus?
Papyrus?
It's Papyrus.
Okay.
Like the font.
He needs to stuff his face with a papyrus and get over it.
That's how you know it's a show by Aruto.
This is gonna be my Itachi. This is gonna be my Itachi origin story.
Good one, kid. Speaking of food, want to head over to Grillby's?
I haven't been there in a long time. I wonder if he remembers me.
She said as she smiled sweetly. Oh, Sergio's been shenanigans out of existence. This is so sad.
You're kidding. He gets hot.
He's back. Mr. Beast burger.
Oh, I want a burger. Yeah, kidding.
He gets hot and bothered when someone mentions your name.
Oh no. What's that mean?
It's nothing. I just said that for the pun.
She giggled.
So, are you gonna take one of your shortcuts or the scenic route?
It's up to you, kid.
He said as he smiled. She looked at him and smiled, then hugged him tightly, hiding her face in the fur of his blue jacket, trying to hide the tears that were forming in her eyes. Her voice muffled.
I missed you. Oh, sorry, it's muffled. I miss you so much, Sans.
She said as she cried in his jacket. He blushed madly when she hugged him, but then noticed that she was crying. He looked down at her worriedly as he hugged her back.
Yeah, I missed you too, kid.
He said worriedly as he hugged her tightly.
I wonder why she's crying. Are the other humans not being good to her?
He thought to himself as his eye turned blue again.
If they aren't, then they surely will have a bad time.
He said the thing! He said the thing!
He said the thing! I'm sorry, bad time is a meme in Undertale. His eye went back to normal when he heard Frisk no longer crying.
Frisk?
Oh, sorry. Thanks, Sans. I needed a shoulder to cry on.
She said as she laid her head on the fur of his jacket.
I mentioned it, kiddo. Whenever you need a shoulder to cry on, I'll always be here for you.
She looked up at him and smiled sweetly, making him blush madly, but then her eyes widened. Then she ran off towards the broken barrier.
Oh no, I forgot about Sasha.
She said. Sans ran after her.
Wait, who's Sasha?
My daughter.
Run.
How old is Frisk supposed to be?
Sans
16 in this
widened.
fanfiction.
Yeah, literally 16. Hard confirmed.
Yeah, so
Her daughter.
He thought to himself.
I'll teleport you to her.
He said as the gaster that caught her picked up and Sans snapped his fingers, teleporting them to the entrance of the cave where the barrier once stood. He sees Frisk run out of the cave, then walks back in, looking around, then walked towards a place that was in complete darkness.
I've never seen this area of the cave before. There aren't even any surveillance gasters here.
He thought to himself. He looks over to see a little girl about the age of 3, sleeping, wrapped up in a blue jacket that looked way too big on her, and exactly like the one he wears. Wears as in the wares of a hardware store. And wearing, properly spelled that time, a long red scarf around her, just like Papyrus. Oh no, it's one of those... I've seen this trope so many times where people take the fucking scarf from Papyrus and the jacket from Sans. Alright, Frisk, go ahead.
there you are, sweetie. I'm so glad you're safe.
She said as she picked up the sleeping child, holding her closely. Sans blusses. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know why I read that, sorry.
Sans blushes as he places his hand on the back of his head.
So that's your daughter, huh? She's a cutie.
He said shyly. He looks at the child sleeping in Frisk's arms.
Why does she dress like me and Papyrus?
I tell her stories about everyone every night before she goes to sleep. She likes the stories about you and Papyrus the most.
She looked down at her daughter and smiled lovingly. Sans noticed that she had an eye patch covering her right eye. He looks at her worriedly.
What's with that eye patch? You trying to look like Undyne?
She looks at him and smiles sadly.
Something like that.
Just then, he teleported in front of her, tilting her head up to make her look at him with his thumb and forefinger, as he looked at her with worry in his eyes, making her blush madly. How many times are we going to use the term blush madly? There are other ways.
Frisk, you need to tell me what's going on up the surface. Are humans not treating you well up there? Because if they aren't, I'll take care of them for you.
He looked at her worried. So much worriedly.
What makes you say that, Sans?
You were crying on me a minute ago, and you have an eye patch covering your eye, and you were relieved to say that you said your child was safe. There's something going on up there that we don't know about.
She looks down in sadness.
If I tell you, promise not to tell anyone.
She said in a sad tone.
I promise.
She then explained to him that she had lost her eye in a fight with the child's father, a man named Johnson, who uses slaves to do his dirty work, and that she was one of his slaves. Oh, no!
What?
Yeah, this is totally what happens in Undertale. Didn't you see, like, the credit scene? You know, at the end of the pacifist one where everyone's living happily on the surface?
Yeah. Yeah.
Usually he would kill his slaves if they do something wrong, but he kept me alive because he needed someone like me to take care of Sasha.
She looked at him as he looked at the entrance to the cave with both his eyes glowing blue.
Is something wrong, Sans?
He held her close to him, hiding deeper into the darkness.
Someone's coming.
He saw a man as tall as him that looked a little like the 3-year-old child in Frisk's arms. Her eyes widened and hid herself in Sans' chest.
It's him. Johnson.
I can't take it seriously that her abuser's name is Johnson.
I think it's just how comically, childishly serious this suddenly became.
Oh no, it's Johnson.
Oh no. That's gonna be a meme. I want that to be a meme. Alright, go ahead and go on to the next paragraph, Serge.
Is that right?
Anger swelled in his glowing eyes. Frisk covered his glowing eyes with her free hand. Once she saw that his eyes weren't glowing anymore, she took her hand away and nodded her head no. When they see that Johnson was no longer in the cave, he sighed, laying his hand on hers.
That's Johnson, right? Kid's father?
He said as he let go of her.
Yeah, Sans. Monsters can't attack humans, and humans can't attack monsters.
So that was a lie. Fucking... Excuse me? Oh,
Even
that must
if
be the
someone
treaty. Okay. Whatever.
Yeah.
Even if someone like me has a few bones to pick with a certain human, I swear to King Asgore, if he comes back to my territory without permission, if he tries to hurt you or your daughter, I will kill him.
Said as he stood up and started pacing, his eyes glowing once again. You think he can make a flashlight out of those eyes at this point?
Probably. Sans, please calm down. It's out of character.
Calm down. Calm down. How can I after that human is after you and your daughter? He took out your eye literally. He made you have a baby way before you were ready, and...
Sans, aren't you sexually attracted to this 16-year-old child while you're 26? I don't think you have the right to be telling him when she can have a child or not when you are literally a pedophile.
This is some pretty cringe dialogue. Go ahead, Michael.
Sans, he didn't make me have Sasha.
So you wanted to have a child with Johnson?
No, Major Bubba, come sit down and I'll tell you everything about Sasha.
I think Sans would be Sergeant Sucksman.
Sorry, no, Sergeant Sucksman. Come sit down and I'll tell you everything about Sasha.
As she patted the ground next to her, motioning him to sit there. He sighs and sits down next to her. Is this present or past tense? I can't fucking tell anymore.
But by the way, I would like to show you guys what I imagine Johnson looks like on the left. It's Aaron Taylor Johnson who played Quicksilver. So someone made a post like I believe that Aaron Taylor Johnson is three people, Aaron, Taylor, and Johnson, and that's
the fusion of Aaron Taylor and Johnson.
Frisk laid her head on Sans' arm.
3 years ago today, I helped a friend of mine deliver Sasha. She was Johnson's once when Sasha was born. Johnson killed her. She never had a chance to give her a name, so I had to be the one to name her. So I named her Sasha. After you, sort of. I always wanted my first daughter to be named Sasha. When she was born, the only thing I had to wrap her in was the red scarf that she wears now. I found the jacket in the trash not too long ago, so I cleaned it up real good and let her have it. I know it's too big on her, but the winter months are coming up soon on the surface, and you know how it's always cold in Snowdon. So you see, she's not really my daughter by blood, but rather by adoption.
Oh, Sans mentally... What was that?
Also, the equivalent of her naming her daughter Sasha after Sans, the equivalent of me going, Matt, I've named my my son after you. Here's Michael.
I think it'd be funnier if it was like Matt, I named my child after you, and you point to like a baby boy, and this is just like, this is Matthew.
No, it'd be more like naming him Martin.
This is Martin.
My God. I thought you named him after me.
I did.
Sans mentally.
I got really drunk and I tried to say Matthew and it came out as Martin.
Martin. Martin. I want my son Martin. You think it's Matthew the whole time, but you always pronounce it Martin. Alright. Sans and I mentally sighed in relief.
Thank God, at least she's still pure. I don't know what I would have done if she did anything with Johnson.
So, Are we going to point out how hypocritical it is that Sans probably wanted to,
You want the boner?
Shut the fuck up.
Ralph Boner, my favorite WandaVision character.
The hit character played by that one guy?
Go on, Sergio.
I'm glad you told me, kiddo, but I still worry for you a lot. And I don't want you to be getting hurt anymore.
She smiles cutely.
You're my brother, Sam. Oh, no! Sweet home Alabama!
Sweet home Alabama.
You're my brother, Sans. I loved you. Of course you don't want you're gonna worry about me. Oh, and there's one more thing I should tell you about Sasha.
What's that? What's that? Uh-oh. What does she have planned now?
Oh no. I show her the pictures of you and Papyrus that are in my locket every day. And do you know what she says when she points at them?
What?
When she points at Papyrus, she says Uncle Pappy.
Odd. When she points at me, she says Uncle Sans.
No, she calls you Daddy.
Daddy! Why would she call me Daddy? She should know that I should be her Uncle Sans, not her father. She knows that her father is that Johnson bastard.
She knows that Johnson is her real father, but she doesn't accept him as her father, despite the fact that she is a baby. And he doesn't accept her as as his daughter. I tried making her call you Uncle Sans, but she just won't have it. She is also wanting to learn how to make jokes, as a baby.
So, how many 3-year-olds are capable of verbally articulating this?
Imagine a 3-year-old going up to you and going, "I'm sorry, but you're not my father anymore."
Perfect English.
Yeah, just perfect English, deep-ass voice, everything.
It's like one of those posts where it was like, my daughter looked at the TV and turned to me and said, "Mom, this is the end of systemic racism in America as we know it."
That's exactly it. That is exactly what is happening.
He looks at her and smiled, then looks down at Sasha as she sleeps soundlessly in Frisk's arms, wrapped up in her jacket. He looks back up at Frisk and noticed that she was shivering. He took off his own signature jacket and placed it over her shoulders.
Come on, let's go to Grillby's and warm you two up with a big, nice... nice big cup of hot chocolate.
Are you okay, Sergio?
No.
Having a stroke over there?
No, I'm good.
He got up and then helped her up, then teleported them straight to Grillby's. He opened the door and allowed her to walk in first.
After you, me lady.
Tips Fedora. She giggles. She giggles as she walks in.
Goggles. You're such a gentleman, Sans.
When she stepped in, all the monsters stared, as in the house fixture and not the biological function, at her in amazement, murmuring to each other.
Who is that human with Sans?
Murmured one
Frisk?
monster in the corner. Okay, I'm not saying murmured every time. This is so fucking dumb.
Go ahead,
Dang.
Sergio.
She's hot. Who's that kid?
Did Frisk get frisky with someone on the surface?
No.
Sans noticed the chatter that Frisk was getting and rapped with a capital W, his arm around her shoulders protectively.
Hey, Grillbs, 2 hot chocolates for the kids and a fresh bottle of ketchup.
He said as the
I'm
two of them
concerned.
sat down.
This is some movie Bob energy.
Sans
like
movie
that.
Bob.
A movie groomer mom. I think we just call those Krugers.
No. Also, we're saying movie Bob, not mom.
Movie Bob.
Go ahead, Frisk.
Sans, you don't have to do this, but thank you.
Yeah, don't sweat it, kid. I'll do anything and everything for you.
The second part, he thought to himself. Grillby then came out with the 2 hot chocolates and the bottle of ketchup and set the 3 items on the bar. I'll do Grillby.
Yeah.
Is that you, Frisk? It's been a long time since you've been here with Sans.
Yeah, it's me, Grilby. Sorry for not coming by as often as I used to, but you know how it is. Busy, busy, busy talking to the council about the peace treaty between monsters and humans. Speaking for the monsters that are living on the surface now, it does get pretty tiring. But after tomorrow, I don't have any meetings for the next couple of months, so I thought I'd stay in the underground for a while.
Sans, Grilby, and Frisk looked down, noticing that Sasha was waking up from the smell of the hot chocolates.
Hold on. I'm sure this has to do something with Undertale lore, but it's very. This is the unbelievable thing that they let a 16-year-old discuss the this super important peace treaty.
Well, she is supposed to be an ambassador, like canonically, she is supposed to help speak on the monster's behalf.
Okay.
Like she's not like a lone ambassador. She is with the monsters to try. She's essentially their attorney. Just imagine
All
that.
right.
Like sort of like, yeah, they treated me really well down there. I came out alive. Like these are like my family. Like they're nice, I swear.
Yeah.
No, I'm just imagining like this teenage girl walking into like the Kremlin and going up to Stalin and be like, "Listen, Stalin, you're based, and we need your help in defeating Hitler. He's cringe."
Also, side note.
Exactly how World War II started.
Side note. Monsters are canonically so weak that a human child is stronger than all of them combined.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's after they get like, murdered and whatever.
No, like Frisk is just always canonically at the strength of a human child. It's just that monsters are unfucking believably weak. They're made of like dust and shit. They're not actually like strong in the real sense. That's why they got totally destroyed by humans. Anyways, though, Sasha tiredly sat up and looked up at the hot chocolate that was in a white mug with a pink heart in it. She then looked around and noticed that she wasn't anywhere familiar. Who wants to be Sasha?
Oh, I mean, yeah, go ahead.
Mommy, where are we?
She asked as she yawned.
So cute.
Sans thought to himself as he blushed. She looked down at her and smiled. She being Frisk, I imagine, looking down at her and smiled.
We're in the underground in a place called Grillby's. Uncle Sans and I came here a lot when I was younger. Here, this hot chocolate is for you.
She said as she handed her the mug with the pink heart.
Be careful, it's very hot.
They don't call it hot chocolate for nothing, Sans said as he took his drink of ketchup.
Frisk giggled.
Oh. What's hot chocolate?
It's a liquid that we drink during the winter times to keep us warm inside.
So Frisk, is this your daughter? She's very cute.
Well, she is my daughter, but not by blood. I adopted her. Sasha, this is Grilby, the owner of this place.
It is a pleasure to meet you, young one.
Nice to meet you too, Mr. Gwilby. All of a sudden, her English decides to be 3-year-old.
Yeah.
Sasha, do you know who this man is?
Frisk pointed to Sans.
He looks just like Johnson, but he's not Johnson. He's too tall and thin. Johnson is short.
No. When she's saying daddy, she means Sans from the picture. She doesn't call Johnson daddy.
You gotta remember that.
Dang, she looks just like Daddy, but he's not Daddy. He's too tall and thin. Daddy is short and tubby like a big teddy bear.
Thank you.
All right, Sergio, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Cute. Sans and Grilby said at the same time as they awed. Sans, I didn't know you were a father.
I'm not. She just calls me that. They don't ask why even I don't know.
Frisk giggles.
She hasn't gotten her R's down just yet, but we're learning.
She looks back down at Sasha.
Sasha, that tall man is your Uncle Sans. 6 years have passed since that photo was taken. Monster people grow over time, just like you and me.
Sup, kiddo?
Sans gave her the same smile she saw on her mother's locket.
You are daddy. You look much better, tall and thin.
She smiled.
Speaking of mind, explaining to me how you got to be like this.
Frisk, you just finished explaining that!
No, to Sans.
I know, but didn't she just explain that the... whatever. Sans looked off to his side and blushed.
Well, Pap suggested I take his training for new recruits. He is the new captain of the Royal Guard now that Undyne is living on the surface. I didn't at first until Undyne told me something before she left for the surface.
Which was?
He blushed even more.
Well, she told me that if I don't start being a lazy bones, I won't be able to protect the ones I care about or something like that.
She giggled.
But Sans, you're already the strongest person in all of Underground. Why would you want to become even stronger?
He looked over at her and smiled.
To protect the ones I love most in the world. Is Sans a Toku protagonist?
Yes.
Yeah.
He said, which made her blush.
Anyway, since Undyne and Alphys are living on the surface now, who became the new royal scientist?
He chuckled.
You're looking at him, kiddo.
You!
A little overly aggressive, perhaps. She then started to giggle. So much giggling!
I didn't know you were a science nerd.
I prefer the terms enthusiast or genius. Thank you.
He said as he soon joined in her giggling with a chuckle. Sasha then... What was that?
Sorry, I was reading ahead.
Sasha looks at Sans as he chuckles with Frisk's giggling.
He must really like mommy, just like she likes him.
Gasp! She thought to herself as a flashback rushes into her head about how Frisk told her that she loves him like a sister would to a brother. Ouch.
I'll bet mommy loves him much more than she leads on. What?
I bet she likes him in a Albanian way.
Why is the 3-year-old shipping her mom with a skeleton that is 10 years older than her?
Why does she understand the difference about different types of love?
I don't know, dude. I don't know. Go ahead, Serge. Let's finish up this fucking chapter.
So what do you have to do on the surface tomorrow? Another meeting?
Yeah, but I shouldn't be too long, maybe a few hours, but I promise you that after tomorrow's meeting, I won't be going to any more meetings in the next couple of months. But I can't take Sasha with me. So, Sans, would you and Papyrus be willing to watch her while I'm at my meeting?
Of course. We'll keep... yeah, of course. We'll keep an eye socket on her.
She giggles. Again.
Sans, you're terrible.
She and Sasha then both giggled. Sans joined in with his chuckling.
He's just as punny as you are, Mommy.
No, I'm surrounded by a family of punists. The 4 of them laughed all together. Sans.
Anyway, we should be getting going, Grilbs. I'm sure that Queen Toriel and King Asgore will be pleased to hear their daughter has dropped in.
But the question is, how will they react to Sasha?
Frisk said as she looked at Sans. He then looked back at her and smiled.
I'm sure they'll love her, kid. I know I do, and so will Papyrus.
Go ahead.
Let's hope so, Sans.
Well, that was the first chapter.
I think we should do a commercial break before we discuss and rate.
That is true.
Hello, and welcome back to So You Think You Can Fanon. That was the first chapter of Undertale 2, A New Beginning. Thoughts, comments, and concerns for my fellow co-hosts?
I'm very concerned.
You know what? I'm curious. I need to, I'm going to read a few of the reviews real quick. So, let's read a good one written by guest for chapter 1. Hi, I'm DDB. I need help. I'm being cyberbullied by a troll named Saint Hardwing. He's a tranny teacher named Lisa Wearkrantz. He's a pedophile. Okay.
All right.
That's probably important.
What
I thought
the
that was actually
fuck is this email? What? Huh?
Well, let me read another one, I guess. This is really gross for me and Sans to read, but for some reason we both want to keep reading from Frisk. I don't think anyone has called them out on the fact that there's a 10-year age gap difference between Sans and Frisk.
And that the affection begins when one is 20 years old and the other is 10.
Yeah.
Why did he write Why did they write physically 20? Like, couldn't they just said Sans had growth spurred up through her height?
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
I'm concerned.
Anyhow.
This makes me want to just... This makes me want to go play a genocide run and see how far I can get without crying.
Okay, so my thoughts is this is poorly written. There's a lot of spelling errors. There's a lot of random capitalization. There's no real paragraphs. It suffers from one-line syndrome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit.
The whole thing with Frisk and her kid and the is weird. It's not like FMA groomer levels of Chris Hansen, but yeah, it's just what
It at least seems reciprocated to some level already.
Yeah.
Kind of cringe, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I mean, this whole thing is cringe.
Very.
Like, it's... For some reason, you are going from this, like, very small... Like, let's be real. A very small game, in terms of, like, story. Of just, like, yeah, it's... You know, it's the story of Undertale. But then you're going from, like, that to being... Frisk is a slave on the run. By a guy named Johnson. Of all people.
Also, as a ambassador from the monsters, wouldn't Frisk have some body detail protection? You know, so that she doesn't get enslaved at the age of 13.
Yeah, and if the monsters are living on the surface, wouldn't they want to help Frisk?
Yeah.
Like, this is the girl that literally went out of her way to, like, well, I guess if this child literally went out of their way to help support them after literally, like, I guess, like, in big air quotes, like, platonically falling in love with all of them, like, as, like, a friend, you know?
Yeah.
Like, she did them a huge service letting them live on the surface, but apparently as soon as it's all said and done, no one wants to fucking help her get out of slavery.
What would we rate this? I think I'd give it a 4.
I'm gonna give it a 2.
I'm gonna give it
there's a lot of things out of character and that don't line up in terms of, like, the story of Undertale that I can't give it any more than a 2. Also pedophilia.
As someone who's never read Undertale before, I've never read the visual novel Undertale. I thought it was just like it's not okay, but it's not like horrible either. It's just kind of like the inoffensive kind of bad.
I'm gonna give it a Windows file. What was that?
I was gonna say it is pretty offensive because of pedophilia.
Yeah. At the very least, it's taking place when she's 16, which is...
I feel like this is a person who doesn't understand the... Like this isn't a person who's trying to, like, you know... they're very, they're just, like... what's the word I'm looking for? It's like a...
Innocent?
Like a blissful ignorance kind of thing.
Yeah, it's definitely less, sexually gratuitous than the FMA episode.
It's like your friend shows you this and you're like, you do understand this, and they're like sit there and they think about it and they go, oh okay, I see what you mean. Like they just like they don't get it.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is, I guess. At the very least, I'm not left with any serious discomforts over this one. Especially since it feels like, again, it's going to be wholeheartedly reciprocated later on. Whereas the FMA fic that was grooming. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
That one was just fucking insane. I guess this is technically still character assassination.
Oh,
Does
it's
Frisk really have a
undoubtedly.
character?
It's not Frisk that I'm worried about, it's Sans. Sans is like 100% out of character.
Yeah.
He is a super chill dude. Like he is supposed to be a super chill dude. Like after like even like when he confronts you like the first time before it actually goes into the fight of Undertale, or not of Undertale, of like Sans fight. He is super chill and just passive aggressive about what has happened.
Yeah, he's very
Like,
cynical.
Yeah, he just vibes. Like it's so disappointing that they went from this like just kind of, yo, what's up? I'm Sans, whatever, to this character who is literally screaming over like tiny things when in actuality he probably would have confronted Johnson and would have been as chill and threatening as he usually is.
If this was Sans from the game, the first time Sans sees Johnson, he would step out, put his hands in his jacket's pockets, and say, "You're gonna have a bad time."
Oh, you said the thing! You said the thing!
I said the thing. I'll take the thing that time. But,
All right,
yeah?
I think we should wrap it up because I do have to go and eat dinner. Next time we meet up, we can have a
Proper discussion about
Undertale
Undertale and stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
hope everybody had fun.
I tried.
You tried.